Hey, comic book fans, it's Thursday. It's just after 8 o'clock. The store's all closed down, and that means it's time for the greatest comic review show in the known multiverse. That's right, it's time for Rainbow After Dark. We are coming to you live, as always, from 1501 Pine Lake Road, Suite 17 in beautiful Lincoln, Nebraska. And if you haven't gotten your books for the week, first of all, shame on you, as always. But secondly, we would recommend you stop down by Rainbow and pick them up for the week. And if you're not in Lincoln and need another option, the home store is 3310 South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Plenty of folks up there to go ahead and take care of all of your comic book, pop culture, and sports cards needs as well. So make sure and get down and check that out as well. We have a couple of big weeks coming up here. So a few things to talk about before we actually get into the books here. And the first one is this Saturday. And that is our local artist series, which has been one of my personal favorites. And for this time, we have two new people in the store, Caitlin Abley and Seth Whitfoff. They're going to be coming in at 11 o'clock. We did originally have it scheduled for 1 o'clock, but for all of you Husker fans, know there's a game at 3:30, so we wanted to give a little bit extra lead time for all you people so you can stop on your way to your Husker parties, onto Husker game day, and come and help support these fine local artists. It's going to also go until 6 o'clock, so they're going to be here pretty much all day. They're going to be selling prints, they're going to be, bookmarks, other things. We're going to have access to web comics, all kinds of cool stuff, and of course, they're also going to be taking requests for custom done art during their time here. So stop on down, shoot them a nice tip, ask for your favorite character drawn in, or painted, or whatever they're going to do in their style, and should be something really cool coming up here. The other thing I want to talk about is the 23rd is Batman Day.
/ Harley Quinn Day.
Now it's Harley Quinn Day, right? It's being taken over by Harley Quinn because it's her 25th anniversary. Man, we got some fun stuff going on that day. Why don't you tell a little bit about what's going to be in the store?
Sure, yeah. We'll have a couple of free books to give away. Some really, really cool ones, actually. There's going to be a cool cover to the Harley Quinn book they're giving away. So if you haven't seen that yet, it's an homage cover to The Dark Knight Returns, which looks pretty sweet. Some free books, some free paper masks, Harley and Batman, and just some other fun stuff that are going to be going on in the store. So stay tuned. I'm sure we're going to have some more information in terms of like sales, things like that are going to be going on that day. But it's going to be a fun time to grab some free books and check out some Batman stuff.
Yeah, so we're also going to have a couple cosplayers in. I know we already have 2 confirmed, and we're hoping to get at least 1 more. And I'll be dressed up as Harley Quinn, wearing my paper mask. So that's something that's going to bring all the boys to the yard. No, actually won't. But we do have 2 really high quality cosplayers that are confirmed, and we're hoping to get another one to come in. So there might even be a couple Batmen to hang out with, get your picture taken with, talk with, do all that fun stuff. And I know Catwoman's going to be here too, which makes a whole bunch of sense because Batman just popped the question. So it should be a fun day. Make sure and get the kids down. And if you're not interested in kids, free books are for everybody.
Yep.
So absolutely make sure and get down here on those 2 days.
Yep.
The 9th and the 23rd.
Looks like Dan says, hey guys, finally got to watch the show again. Well, thank you. I appreciate you tuning in. It's always good.
Yeah. Thanks again, Dan. And I know we were chatting with Dan on our Facebook group today. So yeah, if you haven't had a chance to interact with us, go ahead and make comments. And if you aren't watching the show live, still make a comment, and we will try to get back to you as quickly as possible. So. But we do have some books, so let's get started. And since I am the resident windbag, I'm going to go first. And my first book of the week is truly one of my favorite characters, and that is Jessica Jones. You got to look here. This is Jessica Jones, number 12. And this is a cool one here. The last issue, if you are reading along with this title, we saw Jessica get shot by Mariah Hill in the head. So we thought she was dead at the end of last issue. It turns out that it was some kind of neural gun that is designed to try to wipe a memory from her. Of course, Jessica's a little too savvy for this, and she's, of course, a superpowered individual, so she shakes it off and goes to find Mariah where she haunts. My favorite part of this is that in the center, what happens is we get some flashbacks as to what was going on with Mariah that led her to try to kill Jessica and be in the standing she is with the shield, which is not a really great one. And we get this really cool sort of Silver Age flashback with her and Nick Fury that I thought was really cool in terms of the change in style, but also the story itself there is really well done. So a cool change there. The other thing I really like about this is a book that's about people and relationships, and in this one we're seeing Luke and Jessica work things out. They're co-parenting their child. They're trying to rebuild their relationship after there was some conflict with them. So all of that stuff is very human. The last thing I have to say about this is, for all of you Netflix fans out here, the end of this book reveals the return of a particular villain. The Purple Man is going to come back, and so if you remember how menacing and sort of phenomenal of a villain that is from the Netflix series, he's coming back. This book is about to start going off in a big way, because that's her, as far as I'm concerned, her primary villain. That's Joker to her Batman. So really exciting stuff coming for Jessica, just off the heels of the Defenders too. So if you got your, I've already binge watched that and are looking to get more of a fix, try out Jessica Jones, number 12.
Sweet. Alright, first up for me is a new series that started. This is Bombshells United, number 1. This is kind of continuing the story from the original DC Bombshells, which was a pretty successful series. It ran for 100 plus chapters as a digital first comic, and it went into 33 issues in print. So it's some pretty exciting stuff. It just kind of takes a lot of the female heroines in the DC universe and reimagines and restylizes them in World War II bombshell pinup style. So that's always just like very aesthetically pleasing and very cool. But the stories are also, in this one in particular, really kicks off with some pretty heavy stuff. It kind of deals with how Wonder Woman and the remaining kind of collective of the bombshells is kind of dealing with a new executive order that was signed that, I mean, is pretty familiar with most of you if you're familiar with World War II history, which is the internment of Japanese American civilians. So we get a really, really cool kind of history lesson in context of comic books, which is always fun sometimes, but also it doesn't afraid this. On the surface, this book might not seem like it would take the chance to be bold, but this issue definitely in particular did do that by kind of tackling some of those serious issues as well. And it's always really kind of fun to see, especially what they do with a lot of the male characters, because a lot of the male characters in this book in particular kind of always play these sidekick, subservient roles to the female characters. So that's always kind of fun to see, what John Constantine in the last series was the rabbit in Zatanna's hat, for example. So fun stuff like that. And right away, I knew I was gonna get this series. But when I seen the variant cover, it's Babstar, and I love Babstar a lot. So that was enough for me. So definitely check out Bombshells United. It's going to be an ongoing series, kind of continuing the trend. So
you gotta love it when something like this that a lot of people see as bubblegum comes and hits on those issues that are actually big issues. And of course, if you start to take on that World War II time period, things like Korematsu and the internment of Japanese folks is one of the biggest issues, honestly. So it's cool.
And we forget about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we don't like to admit that we also ran concentration camps. A little different than the ones over in Germany, but certainly not the best part of our history. My second book of the week is Shade, The Changing Girl. This is a DC Young Animals imprint. This is the 12th issue. This is a book that I was recommending, and I know, Zach, you were too, a lot in the early issues. And the last 2 issues, in my opinion, have been the best issues of the series. We see Shade in this girl, Megan's body, that she's an alien inhabiting this child. And if you've been watching or reading along in the last episode, I think I'm watching TV shows here, man.
Too much.
It's you know, overload.
Twin Peaks.
It's overload. Twin Peaks has ruined me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the last issue, she swapped places with Honey, who was a famous Hollywood actor. And Honey is, of course, trying to relive her youth in this young body. And in this case, Shade's old boyfriend, the alien, comes to rescue her, and in fact ends up rescuing her body. And it causes all sorts of cascading consequences, of course. Shade is trapped in this other woman's body. He goes trying to chase them. She goes trying to chase them, has a heart attack, is almost dying. Some of her friends who know what's going on with this switch realize that she's in a dangerous situation, and everything kind of starts to unravel a little bit. But through the Code of Madness and a few bits of sort of heavy surrealism, we see Shade be born literally out of a cocoon into a new body, and the old shell that she inhabited, this child Megan, literally becomes an empty husk, and Honey is returned to her own body. But aside from all of that wonderful surrealism, that you really want to see this book to believe it, and the evidence of that is this page. And this page asks you to put a pencil in the center of it and to spin the page, and wherever the page stops, that's where you're supposed to start reading. And so it's got these cool circles built into it. There's a little bit of this sort of randomness aspect to it. And this is, of course, a lot of what this type of book is going for. It's weird, it's wonderful, it's colorful, it's strange, it's heavily surreal. And you know, the last two issues of this have just been incredibly good. I think this was the highest rated book on IGN this week, and I have to agree with them. It was a hammer, really good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And Dan says it sounds like a good one, so he's gonna have to look into it. So.
All right, Dan, I like it. Shade is definitely doing good stuff. So.
All right. My final book of the week, if this cover looks familiar, it's probably because it's from the same artist that did the last cover of the book that I read. So. This is Motor Crush. This is actually done by a really, really, really great creative team of Babstar, Cameron Stewart, and Brennan Fletcher. If those names sound familiar, that's the team that was on the Batgirl book back in the New 52. So, first of all, the book was really, really a huge surprise from when it initially came out, because it was something, again, that I didn't think was actually going to actually take off. I mean, it was kind of a weird concept of bikers and kind of this futuristic, kind of neo-noir tech that you see so much, but you don't necessarily, think that it's actually going to be good. But this was actually a very, very good series that I enjoy a lot. And the last volume, this is issue 6, it's picking up a new volume, so this is a great jumping on point if you've never read Motor Crush before. But issue 5 left us on a pretty big cliffhanger, so it's kind of exciting to see this pick up and see where the journey of the main character, Domino Stewart's going to go. So if you're looking for another really, really good book that has a really strong female lead, really, really powerful characters, then check out Motor Crush. It's great.
Cool. Looks like we had some technical issue with my phone, so we may not be able to see comments, but go ahead and keep making them, and we'll make sure and answer them after the show here. Yep. So
keep on trucking.
Yeah, keep on trucking. That's good advice. You know who was the first person that said that?
Dale Cooper?
No, Robert Crumb. That's an Art Crumb one. I wish Dale Cooper had said it. Dale Cooper. I am the FBI. Mm-hmm. Deal with that. All right. Here we go. My last one of the day. And save this one for last because there's only so much you can say about this without sounding like you are talking about the contents of the own inside of your head. And this is Doom Patrol number 8. This is the first of a new series called Nada, and a new story arc. And this is just wild. I can't totally explain everything that's going on, but we have what looks like people in the real world who are engaging in some kind of process that extends people's life or puts them on some kind of hibernation. And of course, in this fictional land called Danny World, we see them trying to recover from some of the fallout of their previous hijinks, their time their time travel machine and universal travel machine is damaged, and they have to get the people of Dannyland feeling better, have to grow the population, and do a whole bunch of other things.
I think it was at one point in time an ambulance.
Yeah, it is an ambulance, yeah. So that's kind of a funny thing. But my favorite part in this is a character called Lotion, who's the cat that you see on the front, and Casey, who is one of the main characters. And they are they're becoming roommates again after Lotion had left and is now coming back. And Casey, of course, has a new roommate, and and Lotion wants to come back into the fold. And the great thing about this is that there ends up being a whole bunch of fallout about all of these issues, and all of it happens in ways where you don't really realize that these sort of what seem like external consequences are actually the result of commitment issues that they have towards each other, their feelings about of excitement towards each other. All of these different things are going on, but they don't happen in the way that our emotions do internalized, because we're real people, at least we like to believe as such.
Sometimes.
These are people living in a fictional construct, and therefore the consequences of said actions are much different. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but if you're the type of person that likes the sort of multiple ongoing narratives at the same time, if you're into a heavy dose of surrealism and things like that,
the Changing Girl and
yeah.
checked out Doom Patrol, it's in the same vein.
Definitely.
The Young Animal line's just been really good too. If you're looking for books that are different than normal comic books, the Young Animal line is perfect for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shade, Doom Patrol, Mother Panic, Cave Carson, it's all kind of that weird, surrealist, very artistic, aesthetically pleasing kind of genre. So
yeah. Or if you're the type of person who, suspects that you might be living in a fictional world, like, I don't know. I just know that I love this. It's one of those books that the more times you read it, it reveals different things to you at different times, and that's the kind of stuff I like.
It's almost like we're a dreamer living inside of a dream.
Right, exactly. It's wild, weird, wonderful stuff, and that's the kind of stuff I like. If you like the Invisibles and Planetary and stuff like this, if you like old Doom Patrol, this stuff is going to hit you right between the eyes, and that's about all I can say about it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great, and this new story arc looks like it's going to be really interesting. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened in the water at the Young Animal imprint, but over the last couple of weeks, they must be packing in the super nutrients, because they are writing some really strong books right now.
You got a really talented artist at the head of the whole imprint, so it's very good to see that. All right, there are other good comic books that came out this week other than the ones that we talked about, so let's kind of go through some of them. We have issue 30 of Batman. This is going to be an interlude to the War of Jokes and Riddles, which is going to kind of continue the Kite Man story that we had seen a few issues back, so it's going to get into some really dark, really kind of depressing stuff about Kite Man. So if you're into that character, it's going to... I don't know what else to say other than it's very, very, very dark.
I would say that when I saw there was a second interlude with Kite Man, I was just upset. Mm-hmm. And I would also say that I think this is my favorite book of the whole series so far. Yeah, so.
And we got a new Hanna-Barbera book from DC. This is Dastardly and Muttley. I'm probably not old enough to remember what Dastardly and Muttley is, but it's written by Warren Ellis, so that's about all you need to know.
Yeah, that's good. That is the stamp of approval.
And then video game fans, here we have the interlude to the Evil Within. This is going to be a mini-series that kind of goes through some backstory for the new video game that's coming out. I know I played the first one and loved the first game. The second one looks very, very good, so this will kind of fill you in on some backstory of what's been going on with Sebastian and the gang. And then the Generations book that was out this week is Generations, the Iron? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Iron, because they're both Iron people. Mm-hmm. We got Ironheart and Iron Man, so I know that was a team up people were waiting for in the Generations series. So
yeah, the thing about these two is that they legitimately already kind of have been interacting with each other, so it's cool to see that connection deepen. And to me, that's one of the Riri Williams is one of the best sort of reimaginings.
New characters.
Her and X-23 are my two favorites, I think.
Yep. And then this is The Girl Who Played with Fire, book 1. So this is continuing the comics adaptation of the Millennium series. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo that came out was very good. It was a very faithful adaptation that was translated very well, and really great art in it. And if you like the movie and you read the books, I would give the comic adaptation a try. It's very, very, very faithful to the source material.
I would also like 3 killer covers on this one.
Yeah, the covers are all great for it.
Yeah.
And then this is a new Kingsman series. So, movie's coming out soon.
Sequel
to the movie. Yep. And this is Kingsman: The Red Diamond. This is going to kind of continue the trend of the Kingsman books. I know that was a really, really. The original one is very, very good. Mark Millar stuff. So,
cool.
Check it out. And this is a new #1 from Boom Studios. This is Lazaretto. Don't know a whole lot about it, but it does.
The art is
look very, very watercolor art. Looks kind of stuff you would go through in high school, maybe, but in a more intense way. So, worth checking out.
I need to look at that one.
Then we got the Star Wars Adventures #1. This is going to be the young adult friendly Star Wars comic book. So, parents out there, kids looking for something to read for Star Wars, but didn't know for sure what to get, this is a perfect place to start. And even if you're not a child, it's still very, very fun.
I was going to say, if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, things like that,
exact same thing.
It's the same type of storytelling, same type of art, and we all know that stuff was phenomenal.
Yes.
So there's no reason that this is not as well.
All right, and then we have the Journey to the Last Jedi, Star Wars Captain Phasma. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries that's going to kind of fill in the gaps of what happened to Captain Phasma. I know she kind of got shafted in the movie with not really having anything to do in it, but this really fleshes out the character and gives the character some importance to get you hyped for
another huge IGN score on that one. That was a 9+, I believe, and so.
If you like Venom, boy, do we got some books for you. This is the first of 2 different miniseries that started for the Venomverse this week. This is the original Venomverse. This is right off the heels of Edge of the Venomverse, so it's going to get into some wacky multiverse shenanigans of the Venom symbiote. And then to follow that up, not to be confused with that, but this is Venomverse 4 stories. So, 2 different miniseries to get your Venom fix.
I think together they might add up to a Phasma guy.
We'll see.
I don't mean to talk bad. I know these are big popular books, so definitely, Venom's one of the coolest characters around. So make sure and check him out.
And then this is the Volume 1 for Extremity. This was a very good series that Image Skybound debut. I know a lot of people talked about it a lot here on the show, and a lot of customers really enjoy this book. So if you're kind of late to the party, this is a perfect spot to check it out.
Have to.
Yep. I know we talked about Kingsman before, but this is a reprinting of the original series in graphic novel form. So if you wanted to check out that, but you weren't sure what it's about, check out the trade for the first series, go watch the movie, get the new book, and then go watch the other new movie. So, Kingsman.
That's a Kingsman marathon.
And then this is an actual book. I know that's shocking.
Hey now!
It's an actual book.
As an old English teacher, you just made my heart skip one time.
Ha! So, you gotta do these things. You read left to right.
There's no pictures.
No pictures in these. This ain't one of them picture books. It's an actual book, but this is, all kidding aside, this is a book that DC is kind of starting a new line of, I guess, young adult books that are going to feature 4 different characters. There's this Wonder Woman one, and there's going to be a Batman one, a Catwoman one, and a Superman one. So I got this book and I read the first 2 chapters, and I honestly got to say I thought it was pretty good. It kind of deals with Diana as a younger kind of adult, 17, 18 years old, kind of going through all the different trials and tribulations that kind of would happen on Themyscira. I probably said that wrong. I never say that name right, but but no, and it also has a really, really interesting concept. It introduces a new character and kind of a very kind of out there kind of conflict. She comes across a mortal person that is some sort of embodiment of death, destruction, and war, called the Warbringer. And everywhere this person follows, some really, really, really bad stuff happens. So Diana, unfortunately or fortunately, rescued her. We'll find out. But it's causing a lot of problems. So if you're looking for a book to read, an actual book, I recommend this even if you're not getting it, but I think it's pretty good so far.
Cool. Yeah, it's good to have a wide range of interest in terms of the things you read. So making sure and picking one up that's all words every now and again is a good thing.
Can't complain about that.
Nope. So I think that's all the books for this week. There are some more on the shelves, so if you didn't get a chance to get down here and check them out, make sure you do. If you don't know where we are and are just seeing us for the first time here tonight, we are at Rainbow Comics Lincoln, and our store is located at 1501 Pine Lake Road, Suite 17. Just a couple of reminders before we sign off. We do have a couple of big things coming up this month, and one of them is this Saturday between 11 and 6 we will have our local artist series continue, world famous local artist series continue, and we'll be having Caitlin Abley and Seth Whitfoth in the store. We're going to have digital comics present, posters, prints, bookmarks, all kinds of fun stuff, and I know we're also going to be doing some custom art. They're going to be doing some custom art as well. So get on down to the store, say hello to those folks, get your cool piece of art, and support some people who are on their way to becoming big-time famous artists. The other thing we have coming up is the 23rd is Batman Day, which is being taken over by Harley Quinn. We're going to have some cosplayers in. There's going to be some free books and masks, and more information to come about what specials we might be running on that day. So stay tuned to our Facebook page. If you're not in Lincoln and are looking for some cool comic book excitement and a great place to go check out as well, make sure and check out 3310 South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The guys up there will also take care of you. So with all that information, all these wonderful books and cool stuff happening, this is our chance to say good night from Rainbow.